Greetings, my Jester Nation family and friends. I'm out here today with my friend Barefoot Jake Brown.
What up?
And we're just putting some miles on the road. It's for Jester on the Run with Friends, episode 3. So we're just going to chat a little bit, heading north. Jake, why are we heading north?
Because I'm headed to Canada.
And you started from?
Started from the Tijuana border, San Ysidro port of entry on Saturday, and headed up to the Peace Arch.
Awesome. How many miles is that total approximately? Because I know your route may vary as you go.
The route that I planned is, I think it was 1,561 miles exactly, with, I think it was pretty low, like 41,000 feet of elevation gain. But already I've added about 20 miles detouring and a few thousand feet of elevation gain, so who knows what it'll turn out to be.
Might be 100,000 by the time you finish.
Could be.
Go on little excursions with the Jester and takes you over some little rolling hills. That'll add some
and
too.
That's how the detours happen too, and that's why I do this, is because of the people and the places and the experiences. So you add a few miles, but you gain so much from it.
So tell us, what is the purpose of doing this? Going from the Mexican border to the Canadian border, other than it's a really cool thing. A lot of us, like, it's a bucket list that we may get to someday. You're doing it where the rest of us talk about and dream about it. What's the purpose, the general big scene, and then just you personally?
Well, this is my lifestyle. I live on the road. I'm a nomad, I'm a minimalist. I like to run, but sometimes I choose points to run between. And in this case, there's a few reasons. I call myself a can athlete, and the three a can athlete, like cannabis and athlete together.
Okay.
And the three westernmost states, the coastal states, they've legalized recreational marijuana, so that's definitely something I want to raise awareness about and show that it's not just a recreational drug; it's also a tool that athletes can use and that can use medicinally by patients.
Now I'm curious, just before you finish, the three western states, are there? Because I'm in California, so it's just, I know Colorado as well, but are there not too many other states that haven't legalized marijuana yet?
There's a growing number. I probably don't even know them all. I'm more a supporter than I am a part of that movement. California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado are all rec legal. Arizona is like right on the cusp. They didn't pass the bill last year, but I have faith in them.
Okay.
That's not the only reason I'm doing it. Also, I've been doing this, the Bare Soul Project, kind of the label that I put on all these.
Let's get a little closer up. Look at that.
The baresoulproject.com is the website.
Cool.
And it's a collection of stories about all these travels, these journeys that I've done, and the people that I've met, and the things I've seen. And I really want to drive home to everybody that this world's not that big. I mean, it's beautifully huge, but it's also wondrously small. And if a person, and I'm just a person, can run back and forth across the United States or any continent, reach out and touch people along the way, that's proof that we really are neighbors in a very real sense in this global community.
I love that.
And so there's something perhaps symbolic about connecting these two borders. And I also kind of want to see the difference in how the borders are managed. When I look at the Mexican border, at least on the map, I see this wall and sentry towers and gates and barbed wire and stuff. And I look at the Canadian border, and it's just a road with a big statue called the Peace Arch in the middle of it. And I kind of want to know, like, why? I just want to show people that we're all connected here on this rock. But mostly I just want to do it. I'm a runner and I'm a nomad, and I kind of want to go for a long run.
And this is not your first time going across the nation. You're going a south-north route, but you've done another an actual transcon. Tell us about that a little bit. Hey, doggies.
In 2015, they're cute. In 2015, I ran barefoot from Huntington Beach, California to Jacob Riis Park in New York City. It took me a long time, but I did it barefoot, carrying the same pack actually most of the way.
And what's the name of your pack?
Big Red.
Big Red.
Yeah, I think I carried it for 1,100 miles at the start. and then around Tucumcari, New Mexico, people just started coming out every single day. There was only, I think, one more day when I ever had to carry my pack myself.
Nice.
I only slept on the ground a few times after that.
And that's not a light pack. You've got 35, 40 pounds in that pack, right?
Yeah, and it was heavier back then.
Oh, jeez. Oh, because you had your solar panels and all that. Yeah. I've had the privilege of now being a part of Jake's journey going north, but I also had a privilege of being part of his journey going east. We started in at the pier in Huntington Beach,
yep.
And we hung together there was a group that came out to see him off and slowly started to trail off, and then it was just Jake and I, and we spent a good, I don't know, maybe 16, 18 miles together for the first part of his journey.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it was really cool. You parked up the course and ran back down because you were afraid you'd miss me as you went to the beach. I thought that was really cool. I've never seen this ultra legend run that fast.
Well, you said you're starting at whatever it was, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I was like, uh-oh, I'm heading late, so
yeah,
gotta
I've gone
move.
over that whole schedule thing. That's a disease, but I found the cure.
And the cure is what? Just take it, live in the moment?
Yeah.
One step at a time?
Yeah, schedules are overrated. The way I see it is we burn so much energy trying to stay on schedules that we negate any benefits that a schedule could potentially have for us. Kind of like, footwear. Like, they call me Barefoot Jake for a reason.
So let's take a look. Here's
These are from my product sponsor, Bedrock sandals. These are simples. I've modified them with a Luna sandal strap there. So, and then I stuck a piece of grass under my nail.
Yeah, that's important.
So these are really all I need. I can win races in these, and I can walk across a continent in them. I like them because they're just a dense sole with only enough strap to keep them on your feet.
Yeah.
And I like the density versus cushion because it gives me better, more true ground feedback, and doesn't let me make the form errors and the mistakes that I could in like a cushion shoe. It won't let me do the bad stuff. It won't let me heel strike, for instance.
And you feel with that, you can still feel the ground, and it gives you feedback instantly. So
yeah,
you can.
Nothing is like being barefoot. It irks me, to put it mildly, when I read these ads from shoe companies stating that their product is just like Bare or the most Bare feel. Folks, there is a world of difference. As soon as you put a sock on your foot, you're distorting all the information that you're getting from the ground under you. That being said, footwear, shoes are tools. Use the tool, don't be a tool.
Okay.
So yeah, the density gives me better ground feedback, and I think it makes the product last longer because there's no chance of it blowing out. Really all that happens is eventually you run through the treads, but I've got well over 1,000 miles on this model right now.
And I saw the sole, it's like barely worn in.
Barely, yeah. And if you
miles.
looked at the two of them, they're actually worn in evenly, and that's because of all the barefoot running that I've done. I personally, I'm very lazy and sloppy, but when I'm barefoot, I can't afford to be. My body won't let me.
It forces you to have a good form.
And it helped me correct my posture in running and in the rest of my life as well. But I took those lessons and I put them back into these sandals over a year ago, I guess, and it just changed my running. All of a sudden, I'm not the barefoot guy. I'm actually able to run faster and to cover distances in terrain that I couldn't before, but with that knowledge of how my body is supposed to work.
Now, you say you're not the barefoot guy. You still go by the name Barefoot Jake, or is that an old...
Yeah, I run around barefoot a lot. I don't know. I'm caught in limbo.
Okay. And can you share with us what's some memorable experience that you had when you went across your transcon? Let's start out. What's the worst thing that happened, if you can remember?
Ooh, the worst thing.
Yeah.
What did I see?
Maybe you had no bad experiences.
No, I mean,
or you just wiped them out. You got the runner's amnesia?
Well, I saw a lot of people texting while driving and just generally being distracted while driving.
Did you have some close calls?
Yeah, I actually got hit.
Ooh, you actually got hit?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
It was more of a nudge, fortunately, in Columbus, Ohio.
Those
And,
Ohio drivers,
yeah,
they're the
right?
worst.
You know, I'm from New York, so I'm supposed to bash Jersey, but I have to admit that the most courteous drivers I encountered were actually in New Jersey, but don't tell anyone at home I said that.
No, just between you and I.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of distracted driving, which is very upsetting to me. And the guy who tried to go and cross the continent barefoot the year after I did, he was going to do it, and then a distracted driver hit and killed him.
Whoa,
A third of the way across, yeah.
Oh, what was his name?
Mark Balmer.
Oh,
Mark Balmer, yeah.
that's
Georgia.
tragic. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So there really are those. That really does happen.
Yeah, and besides that, you know, I guess it's kind of like broad picture stuff, like the texting while driving and some of the prevailing attitudes that I encountered. It's amazing how I could meet people from such drastically different backgrounds who would have the same negative opinions about each other. And it blows my mind that people living on, you know, if you're 20 miles apart but separated by a mountain, and it might as well be in
Really? Wow.
but I also saw so much good stuff.
Yeah, so tell us about that and maybe some of the road angels that you encountered.
Jeez, everyone was my road angel, it seemed. I mean, gosh, there was one time in maybe Indiana, I think, his father and daughter pulled over, said they'd heard about me on the news, looked at my Facebook page, and the daughter insisted they had to help me. So they found out through social media posts what my favorite road snacks were. And they showed up with like a cucumber Gatorade and sea salt and vinegar chips and dark chocolate. It was great.
Nice.
People pulling over with deli sandwiches and IPAs for me. That was fun. But that was cool and cute, whatever. But just the number of strangers who came out to help a stranger, and I wasn't even in need, really. It's not like I was, like, you know, destitute, about to die out there. I just was running across the country, and I made it there too. That was very humbling, as it was empowering, and the trust that was shown, and the opportunities I had to show trust. It was really incredible. I'm still kind of processing it.
And that was, what, two years ago?
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, geez, time flies.
It does.
So just yesterday, we were walking along the beach.
Yeah,
When you
geez.
started.
I remember that start line.
Oh, the land sand, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you got some sand, right? I never did. And you,
Did
it seems like I remember, I might be,
I didn't keep it, though, I did.
I thought you'd got some, and you were gonna, when you got to the East Coast, get some, or I don't know.
That sounds like something fluffy I'd try to think up. But,
And then you figured out you needed the extra weight and chucked it halfway on your trip.
Well, shoot, I broke my bag the next day.
Oh, no.
2 days later. I actually had to run all the way back from Anaheim to Huntington Beach to pick up this backpack that I have now.
So that was just, our little thing was just like a
Uh,
preliminary run. You had to do it and go back and start again the next day.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
it's ironic because I was trying to do it completely solo, self-supported. I didn't want anybody to touch my gear, bring me food or water, give me a ride to a hotel, and
The purest starting out on day one, right?
that all went out the door. The only thing that I stuck to was my bare feet. That's the only thing that stayed the same the whole time.
So anytime someone offered to carry your pack, you're like, yes, please, thank you.
After a while, yeah, I mean, it was 29 pounds. Our mutual friend Diane Gurdon is out there, retired Marine officer, and she kept reaching out to me, saying, hey, what do you need? How can I help you? I just want to be a part of this. And I was, ego-driven, saying, I don't need help. I've got this. Blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, can I at least just come and hang out with you in your campsite? And so I said, yeah, sure. I'm wherever I was. She came out and met me and was sitting there, and I could just see by the look on her face that she was proud to be a part of that experience. And it was such a humbling moment. And I thought ahead and realized there was no way I could do it alone. And even if I stated that I was doing it alone, the reality was that I wasn't doing it alone, because somebody made the backpack I was carrying, somebody made the clothes I was wearing, Like,
Interesting
none of us are
perspective.
really alone.
Yeah.
And that's what I started.
Someone
to
paved the road that you're walking
So,
on.
yeah, like we're all a part of this global community, even when we're actively denying it. And we're all supporting each other, whether we admit it or not. And so I finished running into 29 Palms, and gave it another 40 miles of thinking, and then stayed a night at Diane's. And when I left, I said, "Hey Diane, would you please take my pack to me?"
She must have been so proud to do that.
She was, and then I had the pleasure of running with her and one of her friends, another retired Marine, and then I had a guy drop gallons of water for me every 10 miles across the desert. From that point on,
that must have been helpful. Yeah.
And that was the best part of the run. I mean, so many people run across the country every year. I'm just the first to do it barefoot, but I won't be the only person, and I won't be the fastest person. But the personal experiences are what we really get to take away from it ourselves and the people we touch along the way.
So you changed your attitude about how you were going to go about the journey. You were going to be self-supportive, self-sufficient, I don't need anybody's help, and then you decide, maybe it might be nice to get a little bit of help and maybe somewhat be vulnerable by doing that. And did your attitude change about society in general, starting from the West Coast going to the East Coast? When you finished, you're like, wow, was there like any epiphany that you had?
Society is so much more complicated than we think it is. We're all so similar and so different. It's kind of like I realized that we all start out with maybe the same basic programming, and it's all kind of rewritten, rewired for our personal life experiences. And the way we judge the world is just, it's impossible for it to be any other way. It's from our own personal perspective. And I kind of, maybe I became a little bit perturbed by our politics and how individuals and small groups are dictating what's best for people that are separated by thousands upon thousands of miles. It's a hard one to articulate.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to articulate.
All right.
But I also see a lot of goodness and potential in our society and humanity in general. Definitely in the new generations that are coming in and starting to take the reins. I've got a lot of confidence in them, these young kids, that they've seen the older generations screw up. These millennials that are coming into their own right now. They saw.
Ignore the phone. Don't hear that.
They saw the baby boomers, cause and go through a recession a few years ago. So they know that you can play by the rules, get your card punched along the way, and still have everything ripped out from underneath you. And I think that's why this new generation is taking a more minimalist, personal approach to the world around them. They're really accepting their role in it and their responsibility. And I've got a lot of hope for our future with these kids coming into power now.
Very cool. All right, so when you get to Canada, yes, what's the plan from there? Do you have that plan, or is there another adventure that you've got you're thinking about that you'd like to share?
I don't know. Who knows what I'm going to do next? I sure don't. I'm going to got a little bit of light construction work waiting for me up there, so I can put some money back in my pocket, and then I don't know. I've been kind of turned off by competitive racing recently, but also really intrigued by it. If that makes any sense.
It's kind of a love-hate relationship there.
Yeah, it's like I don't like I trash races a lot, which I'm not going to do right now. But behind closed doors, I do trash racing a lot. But the stronger and faster I get, the more I want to go and challenge the next guy. And someday I'm going to chase him down.
Someday. I've been warned. Well, I'm not getting any younger, so I'm getting easier and easier to catch, I think.
I've tried and failed a few times.
Keep at it.
But I would like to consider this a really solid training run. I mean, the biggest gains that I've made have been from carrying this pack up and down mountains. This is 1,600 miles, and I'm not to prove anything, so I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not being Barefoot Jake right now. I've got my sandals on, so I can really work with the miles and the terrain, and I'd kind of like to go and bust open some real good races this year. Got a date for the Catskill Mountain Road Race again, and Shawangunk Bridge 70 milers, self-supported race, pretty good upstate.
Some unfinished business there, right?
Yeah, well, I won the Catskill Mountain Road Relay last year, but I didn't get the course record. So I feel like, it was cool to chalk up an ultra win, but somebody was still faster than me, as will often be the case.
Yes.
And I'm very interested in timed events. I'm chasing after the Barefoot 24-hour record, which is currently 138 miles for my good friend Andrew Snope.
Yes.
And I've been training for 150.
You got some big shoes to fill. I mean, some big barefoot footsteps to fill.
I do. We're about the same size.
Okay, there you go. So, what would you, let's say someone is considering doing their own adventure, maybe not quite to this magnitude, but something that's a challenge that they've been putting off because for whatever reason they just don't think they have the resources, they're afraid to start. What would you suggest? What would be your words of encouragement to them?
Of encouragement, you got this. You can do this. I believe in you. But really, quit making excuses and go do it. If you really want to do it, you'll make it happen. I understand that some people have family obligations and things. If you're a caregiver for a sick kid or something, or an elderly parent, well, maybe you have a real reason that you can't go out and pursue your dreams right now. But for the average healthy adult, there really is no excuse except what you make up in your own head for not pursuing your dreams. Whether or not you succeed, that's more a matter of luck and hard work. But as far as going out and living your dream and pursuing your passions, just go do it. Really.
I remember a conversation we had when we were starting out on your Transcon, and you had told me that you had been talking about, one of these days I'm going to do a Transcon myself, because I guess some young lady had just done one and had done it partially barefoot, and you thought, I can do the whole thing barefoot. And then, if I remember correctly, someone had a conversation with you and said, what are you waiting for? Just don't wait for the perfect time. Just go do it. Mm-hmm. And I remember you telling me that, and I thought, that's right. You put off things until the perfect time, and there never is a perfect time. You just have to plan the best you can and go for it, and as things come up, just make it work. And I know you tell me that's what it's all about for you on these kind of journeys. You purposely try not to over-plan. Let's see, I guess we'll figure out a way to get around that truck. But you purposely try not to over-plan so that you can basically adapt, improvise, overcome, do whatever it takes to get the job done as things come upon, obstacles come in your way, right?
Yeah, if I put energy into planning, I can't get that energy back. But if I just take that potential energy and hit the road with it, well, as long as I can adapt fast.
Roadblocks come up, and we just have to get around them.
Yeah, the reality of the road. So yeah, I do like to kind of, it's not really flying by the seat of my pants. I mean, I do look at the maps. I've had a lot of experience doing this stuff, so I know what I'm looking for. But yeah, it's about being prepared and being willing to change. It's being willing to realize that you're going to have to let somebody carry your backpack now and then, or give you a ride to a hotel. You got to take the less ideal job for a little while so that you can go on your vacation, whatever, later on.
Would you say that these experiences that you've had, has it changed you?
Yes. Yes.
In which way?
It's reaffirmed a lot that I already knew. I've kind of never lost touch with my inner child.
Cool. Never grow up.
Right?
I'll never grow up.
The more I see of this world, the more I put stock back into how I saw the world when I was little. It's made me realize that so much of what we do is just empty gesture and card punching.
A gentleman.
And what's important is what happens here, not what happens here. Here.
Yes. I like that.
Like, I made my living off of social media practically for the last 5 years, but like my reality was in the moment. I think we've lost touch with our. Maybe we're coming back around, but we definitely put too much stock in the ones and zeros, and not enough into personal face-to-face interactions. How has it changed me? Well, physically a lot stronger. I feel like we learn something from every mile, and forcing ourselves to accept and go through discomfort, that's always an enlightening experience.
There's something to be gained in the suffering. There's value. I haven't quite put my finger on it, but I understand that completely. Somehow as we suffer, we gain some kind of benefit in our lives. So you have how many more miles to go for today, do you think?
15, 20, no, not 15, 25.
25, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've probably already done, I'm guessing we've probably done about 3 or 4 already, maybe 5 together.
I bet you.
I mean today. 4?
Well, maybe.
Because you started that about a mile, got to start your app.
Okay, yeah, we're at 4 now. It's actually closer to 5.
Yeah.
So I run with the Charity Miles app. It's 100% free. It's available to any smartphone owner. It works in airplane mode, and I raise 25 cents per mile when I walk and run. You can also raise 10 cents when you cycle. And this is money that's not coming from me. It's coming from sponsors, companies.
Come from corporate America.
Yeah, from corporate
America. So you want to get
America.
back at the big brother. This is the way to do it.
Like Robin Hood here.
Yeah. And is there a specific charity that I know you can choose. There's like 4 different charities on Charity Miles. Is there one specifically, or do you mix it up? Or?
I mix it up. Actually, don't recall for whom I'm running right now, walking as kisses. But I like to switch it up a lot, and often there's like 40 to choose from. So often I will choose a charity based on like a personal experience during the day or something like that. Say I meet a cancer survivor, or maybe I'll run for Stand Up for Cancer that day.
Cool.
Or if I see a dog, a stray dog on the road, I'll run for the ASPCA, something like that.
All right, that's awesome. Love it. So in the moment, whatever, then that's your next charity you'll run for. All right, well, we could talk all day long. We'll continue to talk a little bit after this, but 2 things we want to do to wrap it up. One, the very last thing I'd like to do is just words of advice you have for the Jester Nation. But before that, do you want to give a shout out to any particular friends or sponsors or anyone?
Ooh, yes. Hello, Nacho. You're going to see this. Yeah, I've been supported by some really cool brands over the years. Most recently, my friends at Oxwear. They've been taking good care of me. I love their stuff. They're a new athletic apparel company. Let's see, Bedrock Sandals. They keep the best products on my feet, and I love the heck out of them because they're so minimal. They're exactly what I need and what I want. Your Energy. Gosh, guys. If you run and you eat food, you want this.
Because it's real food. There's
real
zero
food.
additives.
I love that at Your Energy, I like to say they don't have flavors, they have recipes. Because that's what it is. It's made with real food. It's got a shorter shelf life as a result.
Yes.
But it's because it's real food. I like that there's a huge variety, not just the number of calories, but just all across the nutritional spectrum. Because it's recipes, so you can really mix and match and find the right stuff in the moment, and it tastes good.
And it's deceptive because it looks like it's a gel or a goo. It's the opposite.
Hashtag goo, not goo.
Yes. It's real food, just blended real natural food. Yeah, it's a great product. All right, words of advice.
Words of advice. Sleep more, eat more, run less.
Run less? What? That's not what you're supposed to be telling these people.
That's my timed event strategy. Sleep more, eat more, run less. What would my words of advice be? Same sort of thing I said before. Go out and do it. But as far as like running, training, don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Whether you're out to win or you're just trying to get your first completion under your belt, it's just running.
We had a good conversation before we started this about just being non-judgmental. You know, we each do our own thing. Hey, what someone else is doing is their thing. You know, it's cool. You know, and you do your thing, I do my thing, and just be happy for the other person for what they're doing, and they're setting out their own goals. So yeah.
And always remember to share the experience every time you get a chance.
Yeah, that's great. Love it. Okay, and to follow you on your journey,
Barefoot Jake Brown on Facebook. Also go to thebaresoulproject.com. Eventually it's going to be a book.
all right. Looking forward to it. Hope I might get a signed copy maybe.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. All right, Jake, and to the rest of the Jester Nation, Jester on, my friends. All right, cool.
Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay.